Okay, here's another League of Legends game coming your way, this time with Nasus in the top lane. 2, 3, 4, 5. And as soon as the wall goes down, matchups. So we have Shaco in the jungle against Malphite. I'm Nasus top against Darius. We have Ari mid against Victor, and Ezreal partnered with Braum bot against Graves and Thresh.
There, for grace I go.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
So, if you're wondering about the skin, remember when Riot gave away skins, mystery skins for behaving and everything? Behold K-9 Nasus, a skin I otherwise never would have picked up. I know Malphite's kind of weak, but Shaco can kind of kill him on his own.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So yeah, this was my reward for behaving. Go figure. I'm not really a fan of the Riot skins in general. What is going on? At least he has knows how to land his Q. So for Darius, I was talking with Shaco. There's Victor.
Minions have spawned.
And we're probably gonna lose some people here. Ooh, good flash.
I walk through the ages.
So I'm warding there because, let's face it, no one's in shape to fight other than me and Shaco. So that's going to set Malphite back immensely, and that could end up spelling doom for Darius. So starting with my Q.
Eons pass like days. Eternity is beyond.
And right here I just need to make sure I hit level 2 by the time Shaco arrives so I can get Wither. That's going to play a very important role in trying to get the first blood on him. So right now I just need to let it push a bit, and Shaco's going for a full clear, so yeah.
Meant to fall.
I was kind of under the impression he was going to go blue-red gank.
Shurima is not of this time. Some things must remain buried.
And that's what I was afraid of.
Darkness.
Yeah, Shaco took too long. One more.
Life is part of a cycle. Yours is over.
So he doesn't have the damage I was expecting.
Journey
Shaco, that is.
to the beyond.
As for Darius, right now I want to try to keep this frozen and regain some of the last hits I was denied. Due to him being an AD caster, Wither has much lower impact on him than most of the other characters.
The past is a tapestry of what lies ahead.
So he tanked a ton of minion fire there for really no reason. And I think he may have just denied himself most of those last hits. I'm staying.
Best in their tombs.
An enemy has been slain.
And he's kind enough to push this my way. So one thing I do have to watch out for here is just his health and mana are slowly replenishing. Victor's a good sport.
For centuries, I have watched. The sky is not but dying.
So right here is when Darius gets a little dangerous. I'm a little short on mana. Shit, my timing was a little early there. So right there I'm coming back with 20% more CDR.
My patience.
And now with the rank 4 Q I can start really stacking. Once again, he burned through most of his mana. His health is back up, though. Suck on that. But if you're not familiar with the character, all of the damage comes from the Q. So my auto attack is never really going to be impressive. Shit. And right there I just showed him who's boss.
Your heart is hollow.
He just denied himself. Shit. So right there he forgot who the boss was, and I had to remind him that it's not him. It's called sharing, Shiko.
Some things must remain buried.
So another thing I forgot to talk about is Darius does deal true damage, And the way you counter true damage, with the exception of Vayne, because, yeah, that makes no sense.
Divination by
An
entry.
enemy
What
has
happened
been
there?
slain.
You need to stack health, which is where the Kindle Gem comes into play.
Has been slain.
Okay, we now have maxed Q. Brutalizer, eh? So he's really out for blood, but he doesn't have the means to exactly achieve that. And I'm greedy, so I'm going for the Sheen.
I walk through the ages.
It's going to slow down my stacks since I can't get the CDR from the Frozen Heart right off the bat, but the trade-off to it is just that the Qs are going to hurt that much more. I now have the potential to all-in him.
Meant to fall. Death is a harsh mistress.
Slain an enemy.
So right here I just need to get my lifesteal going, and I will be fine.
Burdensome best.
And while I kind of wanted to go back, if the jungler is not near, I can sustain back up with my Q. And most of this stems just from that early Shaco gank. It should have put the fear of God into Darius, and he's behaving accordingly.
It is never ending.
Oh no, I'm waiting for the 15 gold. Okay, now the pressure is really going to go up since I can now achieve vision control.
Lies immortality.
Plus at the next level I will get my next rank in my ult, and I'm just gonna keep the pressure up on him. Awkward pathing for the win.
Without darkness.
Just too busy trying to watch bot to notice that and fix it.
It's meant to fall. For grace I go. Do not try my patience.
Ally has been slain.
I'll let him go. I'd rather hold on to my flash in case of a gank. Was not expecting him to do that.
Errant words may fell empires.
And as much as I'd like to draw this out, I believe the laning phase is now coming to an end. Okay, we might be able to get a little bit more off on him. Okay, for the second half of the video I'll be providing post-game commentary. I had to cut the live audio, but as you can see I was still able to keep playing and everything without too much of an interruption. So right here I want to just regain some of the lost ground. And if you're wondering by lost ground, what I'm referring to is I'm a little bit behind in terms of stacking, a little bit behind in terms of ideal, due to the way the Darius Nasus lane plays out. Since Darius is an AD caster, Wither is not as detrimental to him as some of the other characters. And not to mention he did that early all-in that kind of backfired on him since Shaco and I coordinated that gank before the game even began. So because of that, he's a little bit in crisis mode and he's just building incorrectly. I'm going to click on him in a moment so you can actually see.
lies immortality.
But he has a brutalizer, which would be a good pickup if he were not actually behind. He has the Vamp Scepter, which kind of makes sense due to me like taking out, what is that, a sixth of his health every Q. And then he has the one cloth armor, and therein lies the problem. He only has that one to try to keep him alive and healthy. So due to the cannon I want to stick around, I have flash up, I have a little bit of spare mana. I can afford to actually do this. And basically I get to put the Sheen to use. I went ahead and spent the 1200 for it, and it does allow me to skew the trades in my favor. And right now, this is where they're going to get me. So I tried to flash, but everything was just out of line. And as a result, the hemorrhage and the ignite dot are just too much for me at the moment, and I have to make him pay once I get back up. Sadly, at this point, the death timers are long enough to where I can't actually, well, I won't make it back in time to save the one tower. But I just have to make Darius pay in spades for that from here on out. As for the next item, I do want to finish the Spirit Visage for more healing. And right there I had to make a call between the Null Magic Mantle and the Ruby Crystal. Both of them have advantages against Darius because his hemorrhage damage, his passive, the bleed thing, that's a form of magic damage that he inflicts. So the Null Magic Mantle would help mitigate some of that. While on the other hand, the Ruby Crystal ties into the way his ult actually works, how it's true damage. So being able to stack health will help me survive that in the coming fights. So Malphite was still in the area, as a result Shaco couldn't pull a fast one on Darius, but if you look,
Has been slain.
that ward I dropped a while ago just killed him. So now he has to wait for the long respawn timer, and in the meantime I just gotta keep stacking. And right there was one of those awkward hits where the Q connected but it didn't count, I don't get the stack, and the whole buff thing is actually consumed. It's only 3, but it's a little annoying when that happens. As for this, his tower here is toast, and once my team actually starts applying pressure, I can go ahead and just take the next one as well. I would have liked to last hit the tower with my Q because I think it does count as a small minion. I'm not sure, I might hit the other one with the Q to finish. Yeah, I think I finished it with the Q. So right here I dropped the wards because I wasn't sure where Malphite is. He just made his appearance, which means I'm going right back into lane. No one on their team has teleport while I do, giving me the global advantage. And since I was hoping Darius would push that out, that way I wouldn't be as exposed to danger from, say, or someone else. And he can't even do that one job. He's totally not earning the passive gold generated. So right there, one brief little trade cost me a third my mana and half his health. Now, the thing stopping me from doing that again is just that tower shield, which needs to be dealt with. So right there I dropped that to get the lane to push, and there goes his shield, and I'm just going to back away while I wait for it to dissipate, and he's in a bad spot. So that was the damage over time on my ult that killed him, the whole sand erosion thing. And he goes down, I have some free farm, and I just gotta keep hitting here to get my passive lifesteal to bring it back up to full. But with the Frozen Heart and the Kindle Gem, I'm sitting between, let's see, at level 11 I should be sitting at 38% CDR, gradually working my way up to 40, which will be achieved at level 18 due to my scaling glyphs. So since Darius is in a box in his base, that means there's no one here to actually stop me. And right there you got to see it. It's too small on my screen to see what the number actually was, but that was the last hit with the Q on the tower. So at this point I'm low on mana, plus I have a lot of gold to spend. I can go ahead and get the Visage. And for my boots, I was kind of torn between the Ninja Tabby and the Merc Treads. These were also a little bit tempting, just allowing me to get up in their faces, because Victor's W is a slow until it stuns you, and by having the Boots of Swiftness, I'd have a slim chance of getting through that little distortion field before it stuns me. I go for the Ninja Tabby because I'm more afraid of, who's their AD carry again? Graves. So I figured Graves would be a bigger threat to them, to me, than any of them. The Victor is the closest thing to being scary just due to the fact that I can't just brute force my way through his CC. I do have the Tenacity Mastery, it's just the boots would make it all the worse for him. And right here I kind of want to generate some pressure, because my other option would be just head bot, try to push that one in. The probability of me getting like an inhibitor tower off of this is extremely slim. So I see Shaco in trouble, he helped me, it's my turn to my time to return the favor. Sadly the Spirit Wolf got me caught out. And lo and behold, there's 4 of them. So there was the Braum ult, and all in all, they're not in a good position. And by they, I mean the enemy. So Graves goes ahead and pays the price. If you're wondering how I got him, just AoE damage off of my ult. And right there, the sucker reset, otherwise I probably could have picked it off. So due to Wither, I got the assist off Malphite. And I wanted to deny the blue from Victor. But in the end, I go to lane because I can't allow this much CS to go to waste while my team does secure the blue. So the main advantage that I would have gotten from that is just the mana regen and the 2% CDR that I'm not getting from my masteries just yet. But you can see this is a respectable number of minions, and that is so annoying. More stacks means bigger splatter for Grave. Shaco right there is taunting them with the pink wards. Psychological warfare for the win. He's going to keep them talking, skiing under their skin, make them more likely to make a mistake. And the other thing is, in a fight, since he's provoking them, they may be more likely to target him and ignore me, who's kind of snowballing out of control. And that's an incredibly scary thing for a Nasus. So once again, I went for the health here because Darius's true damage ult, as well as it just complements the defensive stats I already have. It's going to make it harder for Victor to cut through because there's more to cut through. And right here we were not in position to defend this tower. I don't really know what my teammates were doing at the time, but I show up. I take the big one, and I really needed to land that freaking charm. If she did, it would have been a dead Thresh. Sadly, I don't have flash up, but Graves is in an awkward spot. But right here is where that Boots of Swiftness or the Merc Treads may come a little bit in handy. Now right here I'm trying to keep Malphite out of the fight because I'm a little concerned about him ulting in. So he's the one that I want. Plus, by getting him out of the way, we can worry about any sort of neutral objectives, such as, I don't know, a dragon, a baron. So with me keeping these two clowns out of the fight, Victor goes down. And Malphite has a frozen heart. As you can see, this is what I was referring to about Darius a moment ago. We get the dragon, and he's pushing in the top. But that little bit of armor on Malphite is actually allowing him to withstand my baton beatings. And as for Graves, out of mana, out of luck. So there's not really much he can do. Once the next Wither comes up, he goes splat. Now right here I notice Bard's been in trouble. And I was kind of afraid Darius might kill him even though he was low on mana just due to the hemorrhage. And friggin' Bard had to deny me those two minions. Had he actually left those alone, I could have probably froze this a little bit closer to the tower, but it doesn't really matter since I'm still slow pushing it. And there's 3 minutes left in the game, so we have one more fight to take place, and it's one you guys might actually like. So I need a few more stacks to make sure I'm up to stuff for it. Cannon, more gold, 6 stacks. And right there I moved the Giant's Belt to the first key because I like to have my Omen on 1 or 2. I was planning on at least trying to, well, I wanted the whole thing before having to go into the final fight, but it's not going to work out as you can just figure out from the timing. So right there they're gathering in the middle. And due to the Victor stun from last time, I realized I probably want Distortion Boots. The advantage of that is just bringing the cooldown on Flash lower. If you're wondering why I brought Flash this game, it's because of the Darius pull and the Victor slow stun thing. I anticipated that the Flash would be more helpful than the Ghost, even though it has a longer cooldown. And right there, no final minion before the battle. So I'm a little short, but I don't have the time to wait because they're not on the map. Now they are, and you can see that they're kind of collecting. So my options are teleport in, try to flank them, or loop around and just flank them from a different direction. Because the one that I want to assassinate is Victor, as you're going to see from my moves here. Now that side brush is warded with a pink ward, if you remember. You can see Victor has taken some damage, exposing him to a potential assassination. Here I go. So right there, I eat literally everything of theirs. I take down Darius before flashing out to safety, and Malphite got eroded by the sand. Thresh goes down, and if you're looking at the mini-map, I have a friend showing up. Yeah, it's our buddy Graves. So one Wither, one Splatter, and that's game. Wrong turn. So right there is the surrender vote. And you got to see my Nasus skin, courtesy of Riot. So thoughts and observations for this game will be going in the description. Been a while since we saw Nasus, huh? I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.